in terms of two ways of thinking about displacement. One is intentional displacement, and one is reluctant displacement. So intentional displacement would be pilgrims who go on a journey. Unwanted, unsolicited displacement would be exile. Would be exile. Yeah, would be exile. That's right. And so I don't know that this is the right understanding of this word, but it seems to me that pilgrims go on pilgrimage with other pilgrims. People go into exile and they sojourn. One of the things that was really intriguing about New Zealand is it's not that old as a country. It's 140 years old. Everybody is from somewhere else. And if there were one dominant narrative or metaphor that would describe people in New Zealand, it would be people who are from somewhere else. That is, they're in exile, people in exile. Even if they're 4 or 5 generations. They're Kiwis, but they still think of the UK or some other place as home because that's where they're from. And it's really amazing to live among a community of exiles where everybody has a memory of somewhere else as being home. You know, I think, I would say both are important. To actually go on a journey as a pilgrim, to be transformed by the journey and the place, and to do the place not as a tourist on vacation, but as a pilgrim exploring, is to be transformed by the place instead of trying to transform or use or get something out of the space. That's something really important. To be in exile is to be powerless. It's to be away from control. It's to be out of power. It's to be living life in terms that you're not defining or controlling. And I mean, we experienced that in spades. We made half as much money. Living expenses were twice as high. It wasn't our culture. There was quite a bit, especially for our kids initially, of anti-American prejudice that we experienced as a family that was really surprising. Well, maybe not that surprising, but that it would get leveled the way it did in some arenas. Fairly hard to understand and come to grips with. But man, the strength and awareness that comes having gone through that experience. I mean, it's really hard to see your kids suffer and to not be able to change that for them, especially when they're suffering because of decisions you've made. It's a hard thing I've done to see who they've become as a result of that. It's extraordinary. So I think there are seasons of pilgrimage or disciplines or rhythms of pilgrimage. I also think that there are times of exile. You get laid off. Your church can't fund you anymore. Whatever the thing is, you're not in control. Most people react. There's a space where you don't have to react, where you can respond. Exile does that. It forces you to either react or to get to a place where you're not reacting, where you have the ability to respond. And that's a real gift. Not one that you solicit, but one that when it comes, nevertheless does its work in you. Yeah.